Kyrie Jesu Domine, dona eis requiem. Kyrie Jesu Domine.
Good morning and happy Monday after Pentecost. For us Roman Catholics, it is a newly added day, Mary, Mother of the Church. We celebrate Mary as the mother of all the faithful given to her at the cross of our Savior as he was dying, and that conversation that Jesus has with his mother and with the beloved disciple John. And in that moment, we, through John, are all entrusted to her, and she is entrusted to us. The prayers for today are very beautiful, especially the preface. One of the most beautiful parts of Mass, for people paying attention, is the preface. Because the preface is one of the times in the liturgy when the Church really tries to educate her faithful at prayer with some good theology. And this talks about how it looks at the various stages of Mary's life with Jesus. Conceiving the incarnate Word in her heart, in her immaculate heart, delighting in his birth, being united to him in his suffering as she stood at the cross and received the testimony of divine love, his ascension into glory, and being there at Pentecost, and then her own assumption. You know, one of the lines is she accompanies the Church with a mother's love, with a good mother's love. That's powerful imagery. Sometimes I think for a lot of people, you know, that maybe this is too simplistic, so it's judgmental on my part, that a lot of people's relationship with God has been impaired by their relationship with their own parents. And that God, as the ultimate veto or ultimate authority, gets tainted by the fact that all of us have very flawed, though lovable, parents. Some people have terrible parents who are probably impossible to love. The most good you can want for them is to be away from them and they from you. Parents who are incredibly abusive and spiteful or manipulative to their children. And I hope most of us don't have that type of relationship with our folks. If you do, I'm very sorry. I sincerely pray for you, because I pray for healing of people who've been scarred by other people's deliberate or unreflective behaviors. Everybody's responsible for the behaviors. Even if you inherit them from somebody else, you are responsible for them when you're doing them. You may have less culpability in the moral sense of it by not doing it reflectively, but the fact that you are doing it makes you culpable, unless somebody is holding a gun to your head or forcing you to do it. When you do something, you are the responsible agent. Maybe not culpable, because you got things like addiction, learned behavior, and things like that. So you know, precision is actually the gift from God. Muddledness, grayness, vagueness, confusion is all tilting towards the enemy. Because the enemy likes confusion, likes blurred lines. I mean, that's the whole conversation that Satan has with Eve. Did he really tell you you would die? Yeah, as a matter of fact, he really did. No, you will become like gods, knowing good from evil. Because what did naive Adam and Eve know only that part in their life? Good. After they disobey God, they know sin because they committed it. And they are horrified of their situation. You know, again, there's nothing actually inherently wrong with nakedness. It's the vulnerability of nakedness and the potential exploitation that comes from nakedness that is the problem, as their eyes are opened. And their real nakedness is nakedness before God spiritually. And their spiritual nakedness is one of disobedience and forsaking God. So anyway, it's a great feast day, added, you know, in the last 8 years by Pope Francis. always the Monday after Pentecost. So we thank Pope Francis for this addition to the calendar, because it is something worth our time and reflection. You know, the church is always inviting us to go deeper in faith, not live at the surface. And there's so much more if we dive down below than if we just remain above. Anyway, crickets, have a great day.